Hello everyone and welcome back to Beatley Tone's Beatles channel. Lovely to have you here. Thanks for joining me for this video and I hope you're all doing well. Now today's video is episode 3 in my deep dive series into the Paul McCartney Archive Collection Deluxe box sets. Now if you've been following this channel for a while, you'll know that a few weeks ago I did a video where I took all 11 of the deluxe box sets that have come out in this archive collection series and looked at the price they were when they were first released and compared that against the price that they are today. And what we found was that there had been a huge increase in price. Now in the comments to that video, lots of people were saying, oh, I need McCartney 2, or I need Flowers in the Dirt, or I need Flaming Pie, etc, etc. So I thought I would do this series to show people who are looking for one of these editions to add to their collection or complete their collection exactly what you get in the box, and then you can make an informed decision as to whether or not you want to pay the price that these are today to get it to add to your collection. Now we've done 2 so far. We've done Venus and Mars and we've done Wings at the Speed of Sound, and in today's video we're going to be looking at McCartney. So this came out in 2011, and when I did that comparison video we found that McCartney was the box set that had increased the most in value in percentage terms. So that doesn't mean it's the most expensive to buy or it's the hardest to get, but in percentage terms, from the price it was back in 2011 to the price it is now, this is the one that had increased the most. Now, as I said, this is episode 3 in the series. Now, if you missed episodes 1 and 2, where we took a deep dive into the Venus and Mars and Wings at the Speed of Sound deluxe box sets, and you want to watch those videos, don't worry, there's going to be an end card at the end of this video. I've put them into a playlist so you can watch both of those videos plus the comparison videos where I looked at the prices of all 11 of the box sets. If you want to watch that, click that at the end of this video. Now, how this video is going to play out is I'm going to show you the book. It's a 128 page book. You're going to see the whole thing, every single page in the book. I'm going to show you the CDs that come with the set, and I'm going to talk you through the bonus audio and the bonus video material, and I'll also talk to you about how much you can expect to pay for a McCartney deluxe box set in today's prices. And I'm also going to show you the 2 LP archive collection version of McCartney and what you get in that for those of you that are not interested in the book and you just want the audio material. Now, what I'm not going to do in this video is actually review the McCartney album, because I'm doing another deep dive series where I'm reviewing all the albums. That's all the Beatles albums and all the solo albums as well, and a review of the McCartney album will appear in that series at a later date. Now, my timetable for these videos, I'm trying to do one of these deep dives into the archive series every 2 to 3 weeks. There's been a bit of a delay between this one and the previous one because of all the Revolver stuff that we've been doing on the channel. But if you're interested in these archive series, there will be one every 2 to 3 weeks ish. So if you're interested in that, please stay tuned to the channel. Okay, shall we get on with it and let's look at this set. So McCartney was released in 2011. It was released at the same time as McCartney 2. They both came out together, and it comes in a sort of a fabric feeling book with a matte photo of the album sleeve. Now we see Paul McCartney's signature is on the front. On the first 2 that we did, Venus and Mars and Wings at the Speed of Sound, it was on the spine, but the spine just looks like that. And on the back we get a lightly glued sheet. They all come with this lightly glued. Some of them I've kept on the back, and some of them I've sort of stuck inside if it was a box. So I'll just show you that if you want to see what's actually in the set. I'll give you a close-up of that, and you can pause the video if you want, but there's not really any need because I'm going to talk you through everything that is in the set. My number there is 16,054. I'm not sure how many of these were made. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the book. You might want to expand your video to full size for this because some of the bits that I point out are quite small, so you'll see them much better if you're looking at this as full screen. Okay, let's get the book open. Nice glossy pages in this book. There's the contents of the book, and it starts off with an introduction by Paul Denoyer, who's a music journalist, used to write for the NME and more latterly for Q and Mojo magazines. And then we get an interview with Paul talking about the recording of the album. This is an up-to-date interview because at the end of it he talks about the sort of the remastering. And the pictures on the next few pages all taken at Paul's home in Cavendish Avenue in London. This is in 1969 where the work started on this album. Loading up the tape onto the 4-track Studer. Some guitar and drum work here. And here again with the 4-track Studer that seems to have played such a huge part in the recording of this album. It looks like he's trying to work out how it works there. Some pictures there with his Epiphone Casino guitar. Of course, these pictures all taken by Linda. He's doing a bit of dampened drumming there with a tea cloth or something over his over the drums there. And that's such a great picture. There's a section here in the interview where he talks about the song Suicide, the song that he wrote for Frank Sinatra, and here we have the notation of that song. Frank Sinatra obviously turned that song down. And this photo here, we recognise this photo, but here's a couple of others from that same session. And this is quite interesting here that we see Linda on the piano. We kind of were led to believe that she learnt to play the piano at the beginning of the Wings era, but obviously she was learning before that. And then there's information now and pictures about the recording. Some close-ups, some nice colour photos of the 4-track Studer machine. A real close-up there of all the buttons. Now this bit here is quite interesting. These are Paul's little sound maps of the songs, where you can see like something like that would be something. You can see the map there where he's got guitar on the left, bass and vocals in the middle, and drums on the right. Interesting also that he's also working on Rupert's song, the Rupert song. And it just sort of carries on over there with Glasses, and then the Suicide. You know, we hear that little snippet of Suicide at the end of Glasses on the album. This is Paul's Martin acoustic guitar, and of course his Rickenbacker bass, and his Fender Telecaster. And there's that Epiphone Casino 1962 model. And we see some tape boxes here. Teddy Boy. And this is side 1 and side 2 of the album, the tape boxes. Some more tapes there, this time with the timings there. These are the metal cases that the tape boxes go in. And then we see some stuff on the sleeve. A picture of the spilt cherries on the wall. And obviously this fantastic shot that was on the back of Paul with Mary in his coat. This is the album gatefold that we're all used to seeing. We've seen this many times. And some other shots of the cherries here with some birds having a bit of a nibble. So these photos were taken in Antigua in 1970. Linda with Heather and Mary, and both of these photos are in a smaller version on the gatefold. Here we see them sort of full page. Same with this one here, and these are some other shots from that shoot. Again, obviously the photos taken by Linda. Some more holiday snaps. And this one again we've seen before, but some other shots from there. We're now in France, south of France, Paul with Heather. And these some French school children who would be approaching 60, I guess, by now. There's Linda with Heather and Paul with Heather. We now move to Portugal. And we know this shot as well, again from the gatefold, but we see it in full size here. These were taken in February 1969, so just after the Get Back sessions. We're now back in London, Cavendish Avenue. Linda and Heather, Heather and Martha. You know this picture here, and this one here actually from the and that one from the gatefold. This is now from April 1969, these photos. Paul in the garden with his Rickenbacker and with his drums. And these snow scenes, unbelievably, were from London. Probably somewhere like Hampstead Heath or somewhere like that. It's still from 1969. What a lovely picture that is there. And now the jacket shot. You get an alternative shot there. And we see some here now with Linda, with Mary in her jacket. It's great to see these alternative shots. These were taken down on the south coast of England, but the location is not specific. These here, I think, were taken in Scotland, at Campbelltown. Fantastic moody picture there. I think that's Linda and Heather. Difficult to tell, that silhouette. Could be Paul. Paul with a camera. This is in Scotland. This is at their farmhouse doing a bit of DIY. And this photo here is used on the gatefold. some sheep with Paul there on the farm. And then we go back to, we know these photos, they go back to the Get Back sessions, these two at Twickenham. You can always tell Twickenham by the backlighting. And these from Savile Row. Paul again with Heather. And this is back on the south coast as well. Mary in the coat again. It's a great picture of Paul. Really great photo, that one. And we get a little bit about the publicity of the album. We get a replica of the interview that Paul did for Rolling Stone. We see it's dated the 30th of April 1970, so this would only be a couple of weeks after the announcement that the Beatles were breaking up. And we get this this interview replicated in full from Rolling Stone. Some more with Mary inside his shirt this time. These taken in Birkenhead from across the Mersey from Liverpool. Again, the Rolling Stone interview. And then we get some general information about the album. List of the instruments there. And then we get the replica of the interview that Paul does, that was included in the early copies of the McCartney album. I've never actually seen one of these in the flesh. I've only ever seen replicas of it, and it's here. If anyone's got a McCartney with this interview in it, I'd like to hear about it. Tell me down in the comments. Nice photo of Paul and Linda there. And now we have a little bit of information about the songs and what instruments Paul plays on each. It's quite interesting here for the lovely Linda. It says, written in Scotland, the song is a trailer to the full song, which will be recorded in the future. I think we'd all like to hear the finished version of that song, if it was ever recorded, or whether he could record it now. Would be nice. So again, about each of the songs, information there. And then we get to the lyrics. Now obviously there's a lot of instrumentals on the McCartney album, so there's not too many lyrics, and the ones that do have lyrics, he tended to make some of them up on the hoof. So we get the lyrics here, but you see Valentine's Day instrumental, Hot Sun instrumental, Glasses instrumental, etc, etc. All the songs are there. And then we get some information about the remastered songs and the extra bonus material and the extra film material on the DVD that comes with the pack. And a little bit about the remastering there. And that's pretty much it. There are the discs in situ. I'll show you them properly in a minute. The remastered album, the bonus audio and the bonus film. And that is your book. So that was the book. And if you saw the video that I did for Venus and Mars and Wings at the Speed of Sound, you'll remember that inside the books there were a collection of artifacts in both of those, things like posters, reprints of photographs, handwritten lyrics, that sort of stuff. The McCartney album doesn't come with any of that at all. It is just the book and the CD. So we'll get on, I'll show you the CDs. So this is the remastered album. Looks like that. And the bonus audio. And the DVD, the bonus film material. So that is it. You also get a download card in the box, and also a little promotional thing about other archive editions. So you get these two that have already been released. Band on the Run was the first one. McCartney 2 came out at the same time as this one. And then on the back, it tells you which ones are coming next. You've got Ram, Wings Over America, and Speed of Sound, and Venus and Mars. They were so much better organised back then. I wish you got this now, and it would stop all the speculation about what's going to be next, what's going to be next. Anyway, that's the CDs, and now we're going to talk about the bonus material. So the bonus audio in this box set is quite stingy. We get just 7 tracks on the CD. That was the same amount of tracks that we got on the Wings at the Speed of Sound bonus material, but I feel that the bonus material here is of greater value than what we got on Wings at the Speed of Sound. The CD runs at around 25 minutes, so we'll just go through what's on it. So the first track is the demo for Suicide. That's the track that Paul wrote hoping that Frank Sinatra would buy it. He didn't. He rejected the song, but it's great to have the full version of the song here. It's just Paul on piano. We get about 10 seconds of this song at the end of the song Glasses on the main album, but it's great to have the whole thing here. Next up is a version of Maybe I'm Amazed from the documentary One Hand Clapping, and this is a really great version of Maybe I'm Amazed. I think this is a better version than the version on the main album. It's played by what I call Wings Mark IV, which is Paul and Linda and Denny, and Jimmy McCulloch on lead guitar, Jeff Britton on drums. And it's quite different. It runs a little bit longer. Linda's electric keyboards are quite prominent in the mix, and of course Jimmy McCulloch playing the lead guitar solos on this with such finesse really improved the song. Paul's vocal is fantastic, and of course you've got the Wings sound doing the backing vocals, which enhances the track as well. Then we get 3 songs from the 1979 UK tour, so 3 live tracks, Every Night, Hot as Sun, and Maybe I'm Amazed, all recorded live at the Glasgow Apollo. And Hot as Sun and Every Night are great. It's great to have them live. Maybe I'm Amazed, I think, is nowhere near as good as the live version on Wings Over America or some of the other live versions that we've had of that song. It feels a little bit downbeat and a little bit lackluster, but it's great to get these songs from the 79 tour. Obviously we're hoping that we might get the full concert on the Back to the Egg archive edition, but if it follows form, we'll probably just get the live Back to the Egg songs on it, because he seems to have been adding the live 1979 versions of the songs to the appropriate box sets as he's gone along. So we'll see what materializes with that. So the penultimate track is a song called Don't Cry Baby, which is basically an instrumental version of the song Ooh You from the main album. Now the reason why it's called Don't Cry Baby is because at the beginning of the song you hear baby Mary crying in the background. Paul sings a little lullaby and then it goes into the song Ooh You. Now I'm not sure whether this is a different take to the one that's used on the album. It sounds pretty much the same to me, but obviously it doesn't have the overdubs and doesn't have the vocals. Now the final track on this CD is possibly the worst song that Paul has ever written. It's called Womankind, and it has got the most appalling lyrics. It goes something like, womankind, they have a terrible time. They're chased by men from the age of 10. Oh, what a crime. Absolutely shocking stuff, and thank goodness it didn't make the album. And that's your bonus audio material for you. So on to the bonus video material on the DVD, and this is pretty good. We get 8 little mini films. It runs at about 32 minutes. Now the first of these is called The Album Story. And this is excerpts from the interview that Paul did in 2011 specifically for this box set, and it's set to some animation going on in the background, and you hear Paul talking over the top. He talks about certain aspects of this album, why he recorded it, the recording of it, the breakup of the Beatles, and the interview insert, the thing that he did with Peter Brown, and some other things as well. So that's a great little piece. We then get about a video about 2.5 minutes long. This is from Paul's personal video collection. This is taken from Cinefilm, and it's set to a string quartet playing the song Junk, and some great footage of Paul, Linda, Mary and Heather on the beach down at Mull, and some really lovely footage there. You see the actual footage of the baby in the jacket and that sort of stuff, which is really great. Then we get a video montage for the song Maybe I'm Amazed, which is just the song from the album set to a load of still photos taken by Linda and Paul themselves, and that's really nice as well. Then we get a clip from the One Hand Clapping documentary where Paul is actually playing the song Suicide. He sat at the piano playing the song, and we get roughly about half of the song. The remaining 4 pieces on this are all live films. So the first 2, which is Hot as Sun and Every Night, are taken from the concert for Kampuchea from December the 29th, 1979, a gig that I was at. So I am actually on this DVD. You can probably hear me clapping and maybe occasionally whooping, but great to have that stuff included. The second 2 tracks are the instrumental of Junk and Man We Was Lonely from the MTV Unplugged thing. So again, with the video material, he's sticking to stuff that is relevant to the actual McCartney album as far as the live material goes. And that is your bonus video, and I think it's pretty good. So if you're interested in getting the McCartney archive collection and you're not bothered about the book and you're not bothered about the DVD, the video material, and you just want the audio, there are alternatives, cheaper alternatives that you can go for. I believe there's a 2 CD version, which I don't have, and there's a 2 LP version, which I do. So I'll just show you that quickly. The album looks pretty much the same as the original, apart from we get this sort of beige strip down the side where it just says the Paul McCartney Archive Collection, and at the bottom you've got his signature. The back looks the same as the original album, apart from you get the bonus audio tracks on it. Now if you go for this or the CD, the audio is exactly the same as in the box set. You're not missing anything by getting the LP or the CD versions. Everything is there. So I'll just show you the vinyl. So this is side 1 of the album. It's a shame that we don't get it with an Apple label, but there you go. If you want it with an Apple label, an up-to-date version, you can go for the half-speed master. That does have the Apple label. The inner sleeve for the main album has some photos that you've seen in the book that I've shown you that weren't on the original album, and on the other side you get the lyrics to the main album. The bonus disc is as I say, it's exactly the same as what's in the box set. That's side 1 and that's side 2, but a very measly 7 tracks on that. The inner sleeve for that has got the some more alternative photos that were in the book but aren't on the McCartney album, and on the back you get the information about the bonus track, but thankfully not the lyrics to Womankind. Overall, I think the McCartney Archive Collection Deluxe box set is a good package. I think the remastering of the main album is a good one. You won't hear a massive difference between this and the original album, but it is clear and it's crisp. But there wasn't that much going on the main album anyway. It's a homemade album and fairly lo-fi anyway. The bonus material that we get, I think, is good. I think it's sparse, but what we get is good, apart from Womankind. And I think the bonus DVD is really good. The book is really lovely, some fantastic photos, but probably less text in this book than there are in some of the others. Now, if you're after this, what would you pay for this today? Now, when it came out in 2011, it cost £61. Apologies to overseas viewers for quoting in sterling, but it's easier for me and you can kind of do the maths into your local currency. But it cost £61, which I think was good value for money, quite a lot to pay for a single album back then. But for what you get, I think it's pretty good. Now, if you want this today, when I did my research back in August on this, the best price that I could find for a brand new copy of this sealed was £350, and that is still the case. I've done a check today. There's one on eBay for £350. If you go on Discogs, there's some that are even more expensive than that, but there are used copies for around £170. If you want to get the LP version, there's a used one on eBay right now for £40, but a lot of these archive collection double LPs are very expensive. For example, McCartney 2 is about £150 to buy now if you want a brand new one on eBay, so they're worth snapping up if you find one. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you've got this deluxe box set, please tell me down in the comments what you think about it. If you haven't got it and now you've watched this video, you want it, tell me that down in the comments. If you've got it for a bargain price, tell me about that. Anything you want to say about this box set or about this video, please tell me down in the comments. I'll be delighted to hear from you. As you know, I read all your comments and I respond to all your comments as well. Now, I've got some great things coming up on the channel later in the week. I'll be doing episode 4 of this series probably in about 2 or 3 weeks time, so please stay tuned to the channel for that. So I thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it and I will see you all very soon. Bye bye.